Hey Hoopers! Today I'm going to do a tutorial for y'all on isolations with mini hoops. So the trick with these would be to watch yourself in the mirror, so that'll help you a lot. And you want to try and keep them obviously isolated and try the best you can from keeping them from like coming apart from each other too much. So typically when I'm doing this kind of like double isolation here, I start with my hands maybe about a foot away, maybe a little bit more from my hips, just like this. My grip, the top of it is kind of overhand, the top of my hand is facing the ceiling, and I have a really tight grip and strong arms. So, get comfortable here, and what you're going to do is just like with a regular isolation, but you want to mirror, it's just like a regular isolation, but you do want to mirror yourself. So I'm going to come up here like this, do my regular isolation here, and then come down. So the trick here is that your hands are going to have to cross, just like how when you have your hoops like this and they're crossing, your arms are going to do your hands are going to do the same thing. So what I generally do is I have my right hand slightly in front of the left one. So the hoops are, they can be touching or slightly apart. And when I get to this point right here and I cross, I generally put my right arm a little bit ahead. You can see here, just like this. So watch yourself in a mirror when you're practicing this. It is very difficult, I think, to really have a very smooth mirrored isolation, but it's definitely possible. It just takes lots of practice. So what I want to go over now is this kind of split time isolation of the minis. So for this one, I actually think that doing this looks a little bit cooler and is also it's a little bit easier in some ways than the same time, just because you don't have to worry about crossing your arms, because one can cross and then the other comes. So what I do usually is start with my right hand, and I'm doing mine, and as I'm coming here, I'm slowly starting to move this one down here. The trickiest part to doing the split time one is keeping your hoops from going all over the place. So keep an eye on them. It might help you to line it up, just like when you're used to learning isolation, you line it up with something. But it does help to keep them down here. So anyway, what you want to do is, maybe just practice this, and then practice this. And I keep my right one in front of the other one, in front of my left one. So I'm going to start going up, and then generally once I'm doing the isolation and I switch my grip and I'm grabbing on the other side, that's when I start working on my other one. So it's kind of this like 1, 2, kind of like this. And what I think looks really nice is really getting into it, because then you can kind of like manipulate your body in a way that makes it easier to keep the isolations working together and from going all over the place. But you still see it's difficult even for me to keep them from going all over the place. I really need to work on my left hand. But anyway, hopefully that helps you guys with your isolations with your minis and gave you some moves to work with. So good luck and happy hooping.